Hey, boys and girls, if you're the ages between 18 and 25, this program is for you. We are here to empower young folks about credit literacy. We want you to be able to understand what's in your credit report, by the way. We want to empower you so you'll be able to analyze, understand what's in your credit report. So if you're the ages between 18 and 25, say 12th grade, finishing high school, freshman year in college, first year, you must watch this program. We're going to teach you everything you need to know out there, so when those folks show up at your campus offering you credit cards, don't think it's a free lunch or free donuts, glazed donuts. You have to pay for it. So we want to make sure you're aware to use credit responsibly and to be able to make sound decisions. And one of the goals of this mission is to be able to teach 2,500 teens and young adults in the local area covering the Arlington County, Fairfax County, Alexandria, Loudoun County, Prince Williams, all of these areas. We want to be able to reach all the young folks about credit 711. It's going to be a handbook, by the way, and we're going to cover in more details what's in the handbook, and all you have to do is send me an email. We'll be happy to send you a copy for free, by the way, so you don't have to pay for it. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching. This episode will cover what we call your right as a consumer. We're also going to be covering credit terms. I like to make sure you're familiar with the words and the language, and so that way when we dive into the main topic, you'll understand what these terms are all about. So briefly, we're going to talk about the right as a consumer. The right, number one, is you have the right to view what's in your credit report. Everyone is entitled to pull up their free credit reports. It's 3 bureaus within the last 12 calendar months, and that website we'll discuss later. You also have the right to inquire about your credit. If someone pulled your credit, you have the right to find out why you were denied credit. You have the right to verify information in your credit to make sure they are correct. That's you, that's your address, that's your date of birth. Okay? You have the right to put any missing information in your file. For example, if you're out of a job and you want the bureaus to put something there that you're unemployed, it's very good that you use your 100 words that you're entitled to. And we'll discuss about that. You have the automatic right for information to be removed from your credit. I hope you don't do this, but this is for when you file bankruptcy, Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. When it's reached 7 years or 10 years, it should be automatically removed from your credit report after 10 years or in 7 years. Some of the things you can also put on your credit report for the 100 words that I mentioned earlier. If you had lost your job, you've gone through divorce, bankruptcy, you can put up to 100 words on your report. So when someone pulls your report, they can see why your report looks what it is. You also have the right for privacy. So whatever number and information that's out there, your creditors or your credit card company are supposed to protect your privacy, okay? The credit report only exception is to share their information between themselves, different third party. Another thing you also have to remember with your credit report, if you see anything in your report that doesn't belong there and you try to dispute it with the creditors or the bureaus, you have the right to file a small claim for this dispute through small claims court. But remember, don't try to call on Judge Judy. She would not help you if you actually owe the money, by the way. You have the right to know why you will refuse credit. If you apply for a credit card and you were turned down, you have the right to know why will you refuse. You can request the credit report to see what was there, okay? I want to say this covers the segment of your right. Now we're moving on to what we call the terms, okay? Don't be overwhelmed with terminology, by the way. I just want you to improve your grasp of what are some of the terms you hear out there. So when you pull your report, you'll be familiar with this. One of them is like account status. This is a status that tells you what is your account looks like, what's the picture. So if you're 30 days past due, 60 or 90 days, it just means you're late. You're in trouble. So your account payment history will also be another thing you want to make sure you pay attention to. It's just the history of your account. Alternative financial services, what is this? Is an alternative debt. For example, a mom and pop debt that you have, your phone bill, your electric bill, your rent. These are stuff that doesn't show on your credit report, but if you want to add them to your report, you can add them, and it's called alternative credit. And of course, you all know what an ATM means. It's just an automatic, transfer machine where you take money out, okay? The website I was telling you that you need to go, we are all entitled to, is called annualcreditreport.com, and that's annualcreditreport.com. It's the free report. Application scoring, what is that? It's just a system that scores how well you pay a debt. So the scoring just measures risk. So if you hear application scoring. Borrower, it just means you and me, okay? Customers, client, so that's borrower. Bankruptcy, oh no, I hope you don't have to file bankruptcy at such a young age, 18 and 25. Well, bankruptcy, it means you're liquidating everything you got. Bankruptcy discharge means that if you file bankruptcy, if you meet all the obligation of the Chapter 7 or Chapter 13, you will call what we call discharge. And you must make sure you find out what that date of discharge is so you can watch that for 10 years, 7 years to have it removed. Charge off. What the heck is charge off? Charge off just means a loss that's written off. You owe your credit card and you didn't pay, they write it off at the end of the year. That means it's a loss to them. Collateral means something that is a lien against you. In other words, if you have a car and you are taking a loan, the car will be your collateral, okay? Collection accounts means you fail to meet your obligation, okay? So another word I also hear is consumer. Consumer is the same as borrower, you and me. Okay, consumer report means your report. How about that? There's another thing also called cosigner. I'm sure you've heard that. Cosigner is what we call a piggyback, having mom or dad that sign on your behalf to extend credit. So you're piggybacking behind your mom or dad for credit. Credit union, a lot of folks get that confused. Credit unions are simply a group of people that are nonprofit that helping loan you money, okay? They're not like banks. So when you owe them, you have to pay, okay? Credit means that a service was extended to you. In good faith, you have to pay it back. Credit bureaus are this company that collect all this data, as we mentioned earlier, the TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Credit counselors are folks who try to negotiate your debt, to settle your debt for you. They are counselors. Sometimes you can do it yourself, but sometimes you need another third party to do it. Credit file is just a permanent record of your file, your credit. Creditor, it's just someone who you owe money. Your credit card, your banks, if they loan you money, they're your creditor. And credit repair services are folks, again, that dispute and help negotiate. They're just like the counselors, but you can do it yourself. Credit score is just a mechanism that's used to decide how risky are you, how well do you pay debt. And sometimes they look at a couple of factors: how long you've lived in your apartment, how long you've owned a mortgage, how long you've been paying your car loans. All of these factors plays into a role as to determine what kind of risk they can take with you. Collection account, it just means that it's an attempt to recover debt. In other words, you owe somebody and you refuse to pay, your account goes into collection and they're going to try to make an attempt to get you. Consumer statement, that's that statement I told you when you lose your job or you're sick or death in the family, you have up to 100 words to put in your credit report. Credit algorithm, what the heck is that? It's just a mathematical formula that's used in aim to come up with some kind of a measure of how likely would, in other words, what's the likelihood of you paying back a loan? And it looks at a lot of factors. Credit guarantor are the folks you owe credit or loan to. They're just like creditor. Data mining is just another word, fancy word for data collection, okay? Debit card, make sure you pay attention. Debit card looks like a Visa and MasterCard logo on it, but it's money that's come directly from your checking account or savings account. So when you use it, make sure you have the money in the bank. It's not like a credit card that you owe. So a debit card, you must have money.
Why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others.
For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
At a time when kids may be confused by an invisible villain, there's an elite group helping them understand and be safe. They're fighting what's out there by staying in here. They are the Stay Heroes. Meet the Great Hygiene, expert at washing hands and disinfecting surfaces and objects. Dr. Distancio is a master of physical distancing and virtual playdates. And General Fields uncovers emotions and harnesses positivity. Your kids can become Stay Heroes too. Learn how at stayheroes.org.
You're the engine that makes all things go, and you're always in disguise, my hero. I see your light in the dark, smile in my face when we all know it's hard. You're doing a good job, a good job. You're doing a good job, don't get too down. The world needs you now, know that you matter, matter.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing this song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your blood so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Taking care of yourself is also taking care of others. We are all in this together.
Default. This is the word that we use when you fail to make a payment, when you renege on your obligation, that when you're past due. Deferred means you're extending, asking for delay of payment until a later date. Delinquencies. Delinquency means you just habitually getting late. You're missing your payment all the time, and that means you're delinquent. Demand letter. You're going to get a letter in the mail that says final demand. If you have missed several payments, that letter that comes to you that says final demand, you better make sure you pay attention. That means they're getting ready to take you to court. So you must open that letter and work out something. Discretionary income. Discretionary income means you've paid all your debt from your paycheck. What's left over is discretionary income, extra income. FCRA is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. These are the guys that are out there that really regulate the credit reporting agencies. Freezing a credit. Why would you freeze a credit? You freeze a credit when you want to stop people from looking into your credit. When you freeze it up, nobody can pull your credit unless you open it. Full factual report. The full factual report means it's a report that's every detail about you, a whole picture of your job, how your residence, your employment information, your phone number, your social, the whole shabong, okay? Federal Trade Commission, FTC, you're gonna hear that word. There again, another US government agency that protects consumer, they protect you. FICO, you better know that one. This is a Fair Isaac company that used the measure of the algorithm that I told you to come up with a measuring of risk of consumers. And of course, the first episode tell you where the FICO name comes from. Guarantor are the entity that are offering you credit. Guarantor, creditor, banks, credit union, all these folks extend credit to you. So guarantor is another fancy word for that. Hard inquiry. Hard inquiry is when someone pulls your credit. If you're trying to apply for a loan, for a mortgage, or car notes, whatever situation is called, they're going to pull a hard inquiry, and that one brings your score down, just so you know. So if you hear the word inquiries as a whole, it just means somebody's pulling your credit, looking at it. And there's some device out there now to help reduce that. Installment credit, it's a credit that's fixed, like your car note that you pay every month, the same thing every month. Interest is the extra money that you pay the bank for servicing the loan. Your bank money, they have to make money some way, and that interest is part of their pay. Lender is the folks who also extend credit to you. Lender, creditor, guarantor. Just remember, loan, they're all the same. They're all what we call instrument to extend loan to you. So if you hear these words, just make sure you make the connection that it's an instrument of extending credit to you. Liability is just simply an obligation to a lender. If you owe money, that's a liability. Privacy notice. If you see that, it just means that they're notifying you that your privacy is protected according to the law and according to the Privacy Act, according to the Patriot Act as well. Public record is the judgment, the lien, the bankruptcy. So if you hear the word public record, that's not good. I hope for your sake, for your age, you wouldn't be on there. Risk base, what is that? Risk base is just another measurement to measure your risk. The higher your credit, the lower the interest rate you're going to get. The lower your score, the higher your interest rate. So that's what we call risk base. Now we're moving on to S, soft inquiry. Soft inquiry is when you pull your credit report, however times you pull it up, it will not affect your credit. That is considered soft. Or credit card company pull their credit to see what kind of credit they want to extend to you. It's called soft because you already have an account with them. They're trying to see if they want to sell you a magazine. Trade line, it just means multiple accounts that you have. It's called trade line. So the credit card and all that is trade line. Unsecured loan, when you hear the word unsecured loan, means there's nothing attached to it. If somebody takes your car, if you take a car loan, they will not take it from you when you have an unsecured loan. But if it's secured loan, it means that your car, they can take it from you, they can repossess it, and that's called repo. Voluntary surrender. Voluntary surrender means you turn in your car, okay? When you are asked if you refuse to pay your car payment. Wire transfer simply means you're transmitting funds through electronic transfer. So, hey, my boys and girls, that's it for this episode. Just remember, if your age is between 18 to 25, 12th grade, freshman in college, you need to contact me. I need to hear from you so you can get a copy of your handbook that we're covering right now. And you can reach me at helpfulhatlady@gmail.com or helpfulhatlady yahoo.com. Thank you for watching.